especially when you do like a YouTube rabbit hole, like you end up in God only knows kind of places.
Deftones and Tools, like that kind of realm of music, is insanely difficult. This is like their version of Car Bomb. It's like we're gonna do some offbeat.
Like, are you just trying to get people in, or are you trying to get to the kind of people
that's why you need to do a bit
that are like us and want to hear like the more complex?
That's why you need to do a bit of both.
Yeah.
You know?
If we started off with Arch Enemy, where it was like super heavy, I guess, relatively, we're kind of moving on from like metal to, I would say, like hard rock / alternative. I like, for some reason in my head I thought this was like a bigger deal. Like I like the Darting Fire. I don't think that big of a band overall.
The name sounds familiar.
I think I probably recommended them a couple times before. I've probably played it a couple times, like in the last couple of years, maybe.
Okay.
I've only been into them for a couple of years. I haven't been on them like from the get go. I like stumbled onto them. It's one of those things like once in a while I'll do a thing. Maybe it happens like once a year where like I get into like a hole of like digging for shit, like new shit, and I think I just got into like a hole of digging for shit, and it's found it. Like I think I just stumbled into it.
Sure.
Through like a bunch of other ones. I think I was listening to, what's that fucking band's name? Anyway, there's a few other bands that I sort of follow like a rabbit hole with, and like I usually find that like you, especially when you do like a YouTube rabbit hole, like you end up in God only knows kind of places.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they were obviously like they're not that big. Obviously, like I think their biggest stuff is maybe like tens of thousands, maybe. I for some reason thought that this song Hers was like one of their singles, because it's like stuck out of all their albums. Like they have other songs that are really good as well, but this is the one that like really stuck out to me for whatever reason. I was like, for this, I'm like, oh, I should pick one that like is like underrated. Like first of all, the whole thing's underrated, and also this one is apparently underrated on its own. Like it's not anything special, but to me, I was like, of all the ones, like there's other ones that are pretty good, but this one was like clearly heads and shoulders for me. Like, it's a good mix of catchy and some heavy, and like they're kind of like a mix of like. Again, I don't like when everyone like compares like every band to any other bands, but like they're similar to like a Deftones mix with like
okay.
Yeah, they have that sort of like whimsical style that Deftones has.
So the more we do this channel, the more I start like diving into my own like feeling with metal, and I'm like, when you're saying that, it's like when we're picking these one-offs to try and help people get hooked, we're picking like catchy song, not the heavy grungy song that falls you in love with like your band long term.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So like, I guess I'm not sure what the.
But then the question is what is that though? Like, how do you put your finger on that?
Well, it's like no, but it's like let's say Born Versailles, for instance, right? Like Throw Me in the Jungle, we hate it,
right?
But to get somebody in, that might be the way to get them in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why you have to have those. If you're a long-term time listener, you hate those little catchy songs. Mm. But when you're new, you love them.
Well, and then I guess the question is like, are you then trying to cater to the type of people? Like, are you just trying to get people in, or are you trying to get to the kind of people
that's why you need to do a bit
that are like us and want to hear like the more complex?
That's why you need to do a bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, that's why like we just covered Kitty there.
Yeah.
That Fire song was obviously clearly just like designed to be generic.
Yeah.
And then you have their own creative song. I think that's it kind of explains why now that we're here presenting the catchy songs.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're gonna pick our favorite songs, it wouldn't be that catchy song. Necessarily.
Oh, long term, yeah.
Like a Regenerate Born Versailles isn't a catchy song.
Yeah.
You're not gonna listen to it first time and be like, oh, that's catchy. I'm gonna. Yeah. You don't listen to it once and then like later in the day have it go in your head because you can't. It's too much going on.
Mm-hmm. There's I think you can still have catchy though and have some longevity as well. Like there are some songs that I like. Deftones are a good example. Like I think they have some songs that are on that side of catchy while still having the like that like age like wine. You know what I mean? Like that do get better as well. Mm-hmm. Just because it's catchy doesn't mean it's not gonna be good long term.
Well, like actually, I was thinking about today. Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah,
is a perfect example of that. I actually think, and we're going way off topic here, but I actually think they are super underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they weren't as big as like the Corns and
weren't they though?
metal-
I think like they weren't as big. They might not have just been as big for us or up here.
maybe
Like it might have been like a location thing.
because they've aged like fine wine. Like when
Yeah.
I can't I think Breaking Benjamin. We need to do some more.
Yeah, we
need to do some Breaking
could
Benjamin.
get into that too. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I thought that Breaking Benjamin kind of went through a bit of a Nickelback phase where people like liked to hate them or something. Like it was one of those.
I think the Diary of Jane, right?
Yeah.
Like that song maybe got
Too
got
much.
overplayed type of thing.
You know what I think it was? It wasn't. It didn't get overplayed like on like media. I thought it got overplayed like in the YouTube days and like the, you know what I mean?
MySpace days,
Like
yeah.
in the MySpace days. Yeah,
Yeah.
like everyone had it like on their MySpace.
That was everyone's song.
Yeah, yeah. Like everyone was using it back in those days when you had like compilations of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you'd have like a compilation video of like CS videos or whatever it was. Like that was definitely a song that people would put on that.
Yeah.
It's pretty a common thing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not really sure how I really stumbled into them, but they've been sticking with me now for a couple of years, and this one's like been catching me. They're actually female. Is the only female in the band is the lead vocalist, and then the rest. But actually, there's a lot of progressive. Like the drums are really good. It's actually well produced. It sounds really good. But again, they've kind of remained kind of relatively small. So I've been trying to recommend them whenever I get the chance, and people are like, "Oh, is there any like underrated kind of?" And especially for people who don't like metal per se, but like rock maybe, then I'd recommend Darling Fire for most people.
Yeah.
They're the only thing that I would say about Darling Fire as a band for me, as across the 2 years, is that I've been listening to them, is that they only have 2 albums, and I'd say like they're not all hits. Like they're not all. Like they're not a band that like I would listen to the whole album front to back on a regular basis. Yeah. Like I'd say they have like a handful of songs maybe per album that really are clearly unique and something.
Sure.
And then the rest of it sort of washes out, kind of feels like ether to me at least.
Doesn't stick it.
Yeah, it doesn't really stick. And I've definitely given them like a good amount of time to.
You're giving them the ear, yeah.
And this is the one that's like, for whatever reason for me, it's stuck out well enough.
Got you. All right.
So here you go. This is Hers by The Darling Fire.
Trying not to notice
So I could see there's obviously one part in that song that gets it.
Yeah, yeah,
It seems like one of the songs that probably grows on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Must. I mean,
yeah. There's like that mid, there's like a riff like somewhere in the middle there where like it like start. They kind of, I think it cut a little short. They should have should have run with it more.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of like give you what you want and then like kind of take it away a bit too soon. I feel like, but
Yep.
they kind of give you that like the harmonizing that they kind of like go towards. They kind of keep doing this. I feel like it's like a weave that they're kind of doing across the whole song. It's like they start off with that one riff that's kind of interjected throughout the whole song that kind of disrupts that harmony, and then it kind of like merges back and forth into like a new kind of version of itself.
sure. Yeah. For me, like, you know, I'm no producer. I'm not a music expert at all. But one of the things, for some reason, that just kind of popped into my head listening to that was like, I feel like the vocals there were a little bit off time with the instruments. Maybe you have to listen to it again. Everyone wants to reverse and listen again. For me, like an album like The Higher Place, Born for Cyrus,
Yeah,
the syllables are hitting with an instrument.
like perfect timing. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, without going too deep, like that's as simple as I can say that.
yeah,
The syllables are hitting with an instrument.
yeah.
I feel like her vocals were like just a
little
a hair off.
Yeah,
And if they had lined it up, it would have been mint.
yeah.
I think it was off a little bit, you know. So there's potential there. They just
Yeah.
I think they missed it there somehow. Again, I'm no producer or anything, but I think there was opportunity there.
I think I see what you mean. Even though her vocals are well, I don't know if they do it on purpose or not, but I felt like as well like her vocals are sort of feeling like they're like a step, like a shred, like a
Behind,
a little bit behind. Yeah. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's for me, it was at times it was hard to follow and get into the rhythm.
Okay.
Because it's like one moment I'm following her, another moment I'm following the instruments, and I couldn't
Right.
follow both sometimes.
Okay.
You know, whereas like if it was in line, it would have been like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm used. I mean, again, I guess you don't want everything to be easily like, I know what's coming next. I guess you don't want too much of that.
Yeah.
The album's called Distortions, I guess.
Yeah. That's true.
But like, typically, you know, when it's being done in that way, I can usually like know where the song's going, you know, and follow both the vocals and the instruments. In this case, I was kind of going back and forth trying to figure out how it's aligning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other thing that came to mind while I was thinking about that was that Deftones and Tools, like that kind of realm of music, is insanely difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't go out into our realm of creativeness, do whatever the hell you want, and you can't go too poppy. So you're kind of stuck in this middle ground. You only have so much wiggle room, and so much has been done in that wiggle room.
Yeah.
How did you be original?
Yeah.
And how do you know,
Without being
just seems like-
pretentious though too, right?
It seems like a very difficult world to live in creatively
Yeah.
after the Deftones and the Tools and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a difficult world to be original in.
It's true. Well, I mean, like that's like the female vocals. There is something to that with that style.
Sure, yeah.
Like that's kind of a unique part of it for sure.
Oh, if you could like, I'm sure someone out there could like, even if now like Deftones picked up like a female singer and mixed it in, they could probably kill it with that.
You know, there's a really cool, Passengers by Deftones.
No.
It's actually Deftones with the lead singer from Tool, originally.
Okay.
So like James Maynard from Tool.
Sure.
Him and Deftones did a song called Passengers. You've definitely heard it. If I play it, you
Sure,
definitely
sure.
heard it.
Yeah.
But they did a live version of Passengers, but instead of it being James Maynard from Tool, they did Hayley Williams from Paramore.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah.
she's legit, yeah.
And she's pretty legit.
She's legit, yeah. I like her.
And I was like, I remember seeing that, and I was like, they should actually have done an actual song together. It would have been really cool to see that. Like Deftones and Paramore would be pretty epic.
Yeah. Well, Paramore, they had an EDM song way back in the day. Somebody did an EDM version of their song Crush, Crush, Crush. I remember I was obsessed with
Really?
it. Yeah, Paramore, yeah.
Huh.
So I got into them. Yeah, Darling Fire. And how many views that has? It was like
900, yeah. So they
That's
aren't
crazy.
getting much.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guarantee, again, I'm no producer. I'm speaking way out of tone here, but if they had lined that up, I think it would have been nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they could too. Like they could definitely go and so assuming they have the masters for it. Like she wouldn't have to record it.
That's what I'm
re-record
saying.
it. They could
Just the slightest bit.
take her vocals and just
the slightest bit, align it.
Maybe, yeah.
The syllables have to align with. I mean, again, I'm not saying it. Yeah, I don't know how to say as simple as I can say.
Unless they did it creatively for some reason that's hard to understand.
Right. They're trying to be
like maybe
they intentionally did it
grungy or something. Yeah.
Just like this is like their version of Car Bomb. It's like we're gonna do some offbeat. It's like we can have it lined up, or we can have it off by half a beat just to piss everyone off.
You can't just you have to either go all the way with it, or you can't just you gotta do a Car Bomb, then you go all the way, or not do it at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's interesting. Yeah. Like, what was it a mistake or not? Did they do that?
Yeah, you had to make extra sure that everyone knows it wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, the Car Bomb is not a mistake.
you know it. That was not. Yeah. And it fucking most of the time it definitely works. Yeah. So there you go. There's females in metal. We'll probably come back to this, though. I guess at the same time we probably owe it to the females in metal to not just do a female in metal session only. We can just mix it into the regular session.
We'll have to come back.
We'll get more into
I'm gonna go do it. I'll give Arch Enemy some more respect.
Yeah.
And give them some more playtime.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably dive into this kitty a bit with Nora and see if maybe she can recommend.
Yeah. If anybody else knows any other female artists that are, especially if they're underrated, not getting the love that they deserve, like Darling Fire, for example, any of that stuff, perfect.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Next up, we decided to do what everybody else did and react to Ginger, a female-led metal band that's pretty popular, and everyone and their mother literally has reacted to this video, except for us. So, I mean, we're not too cool for that, right? Definitely. So anyway, here you go. Ginger Pisces coming up next. Stay tuned.
Does it get heavy? Does it get heavy?